Good morning everyone, good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzomus, and you're all welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new, on this channel I talk about narcissism, I talk about spirituality, self and personal development. And in case none of that resonates with you, I invite you to join us, give us a like, share this video with friends, subscribe. And for those who've always been with us, returning subscribers, I welcome you back and I thank you for your love and support. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but before I start the video, I would like to make it very clear, on this channel, I break empaths free. So I do not go into the details of beating around the bush and telling you about gaslighting and all this blame shifting. We have all been there, we've seen that, we've been there, done that. So on this channel, I try to focus as much as I can to give you the details you need to break you free from the narcissist and narcissistic abuse. So, I will also further say that there is no easy way to leave a narcissist. This may not be something what you want to hear for the most of you guys out there who are still entangled with these individuals. There is no easy way to leave a narcissist. It's always going to be a lot of chaos and drama at the end. So I want to prepare you in these videos. I've always made it a point to prepare you guys for the storm, because at the end of each and every narcissistic partnership, entanglement, friendship, or whatever, there has got to be a storm, because it is the storm what is necessary to break you free from these individuals. So there is no smooth way of living a narcissist, if I put it in short words. And I'm going to start this video by giving you about two or three examples that actually God intervened in my situation, because like I've said, I've usually been meeting a lot of these narcissists on the way. Many of them, some of them have been my bosses, some of them have been my the people I used to live with, some of the people have been my friends, and some of them have been my partners. So about 20 years ago, there was I got entangled. My situation brought me into another entanglement with another narcissist, which narcissist I happened to be just living with them in the same home. And this narcissist, we're talking about 20 years ago, this narcissist also happened to be a witch. So these are the kind of people who are very much involved into witchcraft and do this kind of voodoo stuff and everything. And somehow, this narcissist actually got me somehow involved into this kind of stuff and crafts and whatever. So they were like teaching me how these things work and everything. Now, in that time, I was around, I was about 20 years in those days. And I didn't know exactly what was going on. Around a year later, I just got up in the morning, because those days I was working somewhere out of the city. So I woke up in the morning and I left the house. And on that journey between the house, between the home that I was living to the place to my destination, I got an accident. That accident brought me to the realization that actually it was exactly what was needed for me. That accident, I would later on learn that actually that accident was intended. Of course, I survived the accident. Nothing happened to me. I survived the accident. But I later on learned that actually that accident was very important for me. It was the storm that actually God had sent my way. Because after that accident, I would later on realize that actually I would separate with that individual for good. And believe me, ever since I got that accident, I never returned to that place, and I've disconnected from that. And now we're talking about 20 years ago. Another incident happened when I happened to get a boss. This was my boss. This was like my, I went and asked for a job somewhere, and I got the job. Now, it later on turned out that actually the person who had employed me, my employer, was actually also a narcissist. This employer would do all sorts of things: abuse workers, do this, cheat them, steal their money, do this, all those kind of mess in that job place. Around a year and a half later, I got fired from that place. That particular narcissist discarded me. Now I understand that actually that firing me from the job was actually a discard. She was discarding me from that job. I could not understand why I was being discarded, because there was no apparent reason of what exactly I had done to be discarded from that job, to be fired from that job. Now in that time, I thought I was being fired. I got fired from that job, and believe me guys, that is how I separated from that individual. My life moved on to become a much more positive person. The same thing happened with my relationship. entanglement almost, which took me for 7 years. That entanglement also ended up in chaos. At the end of the day, after 7 years, the entanglement ended up in chaos, fights, and all this sorts of drama, including the cheating and everything, infidelity, new supply, and whatever. So at the end of the day, that was the storm necessary for me to break free from that very toxic individuals. Now, why am I giving you a lot of these circumstances and examples in this video? I want to let you know, most of you guys, beautiful empaths out there, if you're thinking about living a narcissist, you have to know there is no smooth way of living a narcissist. These individuals, first of all, these are very, very highly demonic influenced people. Number one, very highly disturbed people, and there is no easy way for you. You don't think so. You're just going to wake up in the morning and walk smoothly out of their lives. So there is going to be a storm. You have got to expect a storm has got to happen in whichever way, shape, or form. So for the most of you, you guys may be seeing things. It may be in your workplace. It may be in your relationship. It may be with your friends or whatever it is. So you might notice that a time is going to come whereby you are now experiencing a lot of difficulties, a lot of hardships in that friendship, entanglement, or even sometimes a marriage or a relationship. Behind the scenes, guys, I can guarantee you there is work being done. God is doing the work behind the scenes, actually, because that is exactly the moment you need. That is exactly the moment God is going to use to break you permanently free from these individuals. So it may come into a form of a new supply. You may be married to some guy, and all of a sudden you see them, they start to cheat on you, they start to abuse you. At the end of the day, they will devalue you, they do this kind of chaos and whatever drama. You may not see it coming. You may not even know why it has come, why it is happening to you in that moment. So it is going to be a bit painful in that moment, because what I'm trying to say in this video is that most of those endings of those individuals, very toxic individuals, it usually ends with pain. But I can guarantee you that there's a secret behind the pain. It is exactly that pain, I can call it pain, or sometimes there is exactly that chaos, that drama. What is happening is exactly in that moment. You may be somebody, you find that actually your husband is cheating on you, or even sometimes your wife is cheating on you. You know what I mean? You may not know at that time they are narcissists. You may sometimes find your boss, they have stopped to pay you, they have not been paying you for a certain period of time. You may find sometimes your landlord, they're trying to throw you out of the house for no apparent reason. You are thinking about where you're supposed to go. I can guarantee you guys, behind the scenes, there's work being done. God is doing the work behind this. This is God's intervention, because when God is trying to separate you from these very toxic individuals, God is going to cause a very major storm into that relationship, friendship, whatever it is. God is going to bring a very, very huge storm. You might find sometimes come back home and your landlord has all of a sudden thrown your stuff out of the house. You may sometimes find a situation whereby you come back home and actually your wife, your own wife, or even sometimes your own husband, they have packed your bags and whatever, they're asking you to leave. In this video, I'm trying to tell you guys, do not fight with it. You are supposed to understand these individuals, especially if you've been dealing with somebody. You might not yet know those individuals when they were narcissists or whatever, but you might find a situation whereby you are experiencing an ending to that kind of partnership. You are experiencing an ending because maybe somebody wants you to move out of the house. Maybe your boss is even sometimes threatening to fire you, or even sometimes to sack you out of your workplace. You may see also all kinds of your friends, your own friends, your best friends, so-called best friends. You may notice even sometimes they are trying to abandon you. They are neglecting you. All of a sudden, they are separating themselves out of your life. Most of the cases you have got to understand, guys, for the most of you guys who are dealing with this kind of toxic individuals, it is exactly that point you need. A breakthrough is happening for you. The breakthroughs, the major breakthroughs all around the world, whichever you want to look at it, all the major breakthroughs happen. First of all, they start with pain. You have got to go through pain. You might even sometimes be homeless. Most of the guys have left narcissists and they have ended up in shelters. There are some guys who have left narcissists. They have ended up on the street. You might end up on the street for some couple of days. You might end up even sometime in shelters for a certain couple of weeks or months. You may be fired. You might even be jobless for a certain period of time. But I can guarantee you, behind the scenes, there's work being done, and you're not supposed to believe that these things are happening to you. These things are happening for you. Whatever it is, the breakups, the chaos, all these dramas, all these things that are happening in those kind of toxic partnerships and friendships. You have got to understand behind the scenes, there's a breakthrough coming behind the scenes. So do not block that breakthrough by trying to stick around for too long. Allow the flow to happen. Accept it for what it is. When I got the accident in those days, I'm talking about 20 years ago, I didn't know that actually that was the only way God was separating me from that individual. I was supposed to leave that vicinity, to leave the house. The job, it was the same place. I was fired for no apparent reason. Just because I was trying to be, I was a good person. That person, the boss knew that I was a good person, and I was trying to fight because in that particular job, I was a supervisor. And I used to fight for the workers. So I used to stand there for the workers. I was the one who was calling out the boss. They have got to pay the workers. These guys are working, and it's like they're working for nothing. So I always used to stand up for the work. So the boss thought that actually it was better for them to send me out of that place because I was making their operations very difficult. So most of the cases, empaths, you're going to find situations whereby you're going to be caught up in a mix. You're going to be caught up in chaos. You're going to be caught up in drama. Everything is going to fall apart. For something to be built, for you to experience a breakthrough, everything has got to fall apart. Whatever it is you have ever known. If I decided to stick around with my ex-partner, my ex-narcissist, if I decided to stick around for too long, I would never become the person I am today because now I would be blocking my blessings. So you're supposed to allow these things to happen. It is the flow. It is the way of nature. Something extremely bad has got to happen for you to experience a breakthrough. So when you're going through the storm, I usually prefer to call it a storm because usually it is not a very comfortable situation. It may send you out on the streets. You may even sometimes become jobless. You may sometimes find yourself you're isolated. You don't have friends. You may find yourself facing very, very difficult circumstances. You may even sometimes find yourself sleeping in shelters for a certain period of time. It is exactly that storm that is happening to you because God is separating you from those individuals you was involved before. So if you have been involved with a partnership, a wife, partner, husband, whatever it is, friends, bosses, even sometimes parents, most of the guys, for you guys out there, I've heard about guys who have personally been separated from their own parents, like families, parents. They have had to separate and actually move to next countries, move to next cities because it is that storm that is supposed to happen for you to experience your freedom and to become a free being. So in this video, guys, what I want to talk about is just the storm. For the most of you, you're going to experience a storm. In this video, if you see things starting to shift, you may be with somebody for a certain period of years, you've been dealing with toxicity, you don't know what is going on, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. If you see things starting to shift, you're experiencing a lot of abuse. You're experiencing a lot of, maybe it could be devaluation, it could be, maybe sometimes your partners are cheating on you. You are now having all these kind of fights extremely because usually at the end of narcissistic encounters, it is very, 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 very intensive. Guys, I can guarantee you because I've experienced this in so many different times of my life. I've experienced that usually when I was dealing with toxic people, the ending was very difficult. I would think that sometimes God had forgotten all about me. But little did I know that actually behind the scenes there was work being done for me to become a better person, to separate me from these individuals so that now I can start to grow, I can continue to grow and I become a better person. And guys, that's exactly how I became the person I am today. The storm is going to happen. When it happens, when it comes to you, whichever way, shape or form, do not fight it. That storm is necessary. The chaos is necessary. The drama is necessary because it is I know it is very uncomfortable, guys. I can guarantee you, it is very extremely uncomfortable. But you're supposed to go through the discomfort to experience the comfort at the end. So that being said, guys, in this video, that's what I wanted to say. Let me know in the comment section below what has been your experience. How did you separate from the narcissist? How did you separate from the toxic individuals? How did you get your freedom? And exactly what was your experience of the storm? If this video resonates, as always, guys, give us a like, leave us a comment. Let me know what you think. And until then, I'll be back in touch with you soon. Much love and blessings. Desmos signing out. Bye.